Welcome back everyone to the Holistic Academy podcast. I'm Amy Still, an education visionary and philosopher, and I'm here today with David Ortega, scientist, author and holistic coach. We're the founders of the Holistic Academy, where we bring ancient knowledge and modern science together to explore holistic ways of living. You know that feeling your mind is just racing? 100 tabs open while your body is kind of stuck. Almost an afterthought, just begging for a little attention. It's something so many of us feel every single day. But what if this disconnect we feel, what if it's not just a modern problem, but a huge departure from a much, much older truth? So let's go on a journey where we're going to rediscover the body's ancient wisdom. We'll dig into how our modern life accidentally created this split between mind and body, and how ancient cultures and even cutting-edge science are telling us the exact same thing. They were never ever supposed to be separate to begin with. It's so easy to feel like we're just living from the neck up, right? We treat our bodies like they're just vehicles to haul our brains from one meeting to the next. It's this kind of internal civil war where our mind is the dictator and the body gets totally ignored, actually has deep roots within Western thoughts. So how on earth did we get here? It's kind of wild to think about the power of a single idea when the philosopher René Descartes famously said, "I think, therefore I am." That one phrase really helped sever the connection in a big way. It basically paved the way for a medical model that looks at the body like a machine, something to be taken apart and measured, completely separate from our feelings. Suddenly, disease wasn't an imbalance. It wasn't a mechanical failure. But here's the thing, this whole separation idea is actually pretty new. In the grand scheme of human history, to find a different way of thinking, we've got to look back, way back to the wisdom of ancient cultures that understood the body and mind as one, beautifully integrated whole. And this integrated view wasn't just in one place. It was all over the globe. In ancient Greece, the whole goal was a sound mind in a sound body. In Vedic India, the entire system of Ayurveda is built on the link between your emotions and physical health. And in ancient Greece, they even mapped specific emotions to your organs, like anger to the liver and grief to the lungs. And saw illness simply as a disruption of our life force, our chi, and the Greeks really walked the walk with us. Just look at that gymnasiums. They weren't just places to go lift heavy things. These were vibrant hubs for educating the entire person. You'd go train your body, and then you'd study philosophy, you'd debate rhetoric, you'd appreciate music. Physical strength and mental clarity weren't just related, they were literally two sides of the same coin. Ayurveda gives us a really powerful way to think about how this all works. It's a concept called emotional amma. Think of it like toxic sludge left behind by undigested emotions. You know how poorly digested food can cause physical problems? Well, it's the same idea. Unprocessed feelings like stress or grief can create this tangible heaviness that actually gets stuck in our tissues, and eventually that leads to imbalance and disease. For centuries, this was all just seen as, ancient philosophy, but today modern science is finally catching up, providing the biological proof for what these traditions knew all along. We're now discovering that our body is, in fact, a living library of every single one of our experiences. And this leads us to a really mind-bending question. If our bodies are storing our own emotional history, is it possible they also carry echoes of the past? Could the experiences of our ancestors be written right into our biology? The answer, it turns out, lies in the incredible field of epigenetics. Okay, now this is so important. Epigenetics shows us that our genes are not our destiny. Think of your DNA as a giant library full of books. Epigenetics doesn't change the words in the books, but it acts like the librarian, deciding which books get read and which ones stay on the shelf. Our lifestyle, our environment, they're the little sticky notes that tell our body which genes turn on and off. It changes how our DNA is expressed without ever changing the code itself. And what's absolutely wild is how perfectly this lines up with those ancient Ayurvedic concepts science talks about. Our fixed genotype and our dynamic, always changing phenotype. Well, guess what? Ayurveda call this our Jama Praktiki, our fixed birth constitution, our Deha Praktiki, our body constitution that changes based on how we live. It's the exact same idea, just separated by thousands of years. It's incredible. So what's actually flipping these genetic switches?
Well, it's pretty much the stuff of daily life. Our lifestyle choices, the food we eat, the stress we are under, and even our environment. They are all constantly sending messages back to our DNA, changing how it's expressed and influencing our health for better or for worse. And this idea of inherited memory, it's not just biological. The famous psychotherapist Carl Jung had this theory of a collective unconscious. He believed we all share a kind of genetic memory, a pool of symbols and beliefs from our ancestors that can shape our dreams and our instincts. So, if our bodies and minds are carrying all this history, what do we do about it? So, we are disconnected, right? But the cool thing is, ancient wisdom and modern science both point to the same solution. If our body is storing our history, both our own and maybe even our ancestors, how do we update that story? Well, the single most powerful tool we have to literally rewrite our biology is movement. Yes, we know for a fact that exercise isn't just for our muscles. It is one of the most effective ways to literally rewire our brains. The brain's ability to change and adapt is called neuroplasticity. And it turns out movement is the master key to unlocking it. I mean, just look at what's happening on a cellular level when you move. Exercise actually creates new neurons, especially in the brain's memory center. It then strengthens the connections between those brain cells. It expands their networks, and it acts like a powerful anti-inflammatory, fighting the kind of stress that's linked to all sorts of brain issues. It's basically a total system of upgrade for your brain. So here is the bottom line. The most crucial point, movement is medicine. It is not a punishment for something you ate or a chore you have to get through. It is a prescription for changing your physical, your emotional, and your mental state, all at the same time. Okay? So the theory is powerful. I get it. But how do we actually put this stuff into practice? Let's break it down into 5 simple, real world steps you can take to start listening to your body's wisdom, like right now. First, let's start with the absolute foundation. Seriously, if you do only one thing from all of these, let it be this. Learn to breathe with your diaphragm. So many of us are shallow chest breathers, and that keeps our nervous system constantly stuck in a low grade fight or flight mode. Diaphragmatic breathing is the master switch that flips you into that rest and restore state where all the good stuff like healing can actually happen. And here is the absolute easiest way to feel it. Just try the crocodile pose. Lie on your stomach, make a little pillow for your head with your arms, and just breathe. When you inhale, you can help but feel your belly physically press down into the floor. On the exhale, it just softens. This simple physical feedback makes it so easy to relearn the way we were actually born to breathe. All right, now for a few more quick tips. Number 1, the parapathetic principle. Next time you have a phone call, take it for a walk. It's amazing for creativity. 2, prescribe your movement. Don't think of it as a chore. See it as essential medicine for your brain. 3, use a 5-minute reset. Feeling stuck? Just 5 minutes of movement can completely change your state. 4, listen to the whispers. Pay attention to that little ache before it becomes a screaming injury. And 5, Move mindfully. Forget the numbers and just focus on the feeling of your body moving. That is what really reveals that mind body connection. When it all comes down to it, it's really about it. Integrating our mind and body isn't about learning some complicated new trick. It's about remembering a conversation we were literally born to have. Your body is talking to you all the time.
And the only real question is, are you ready to get quiet and listen? Thank you for joining us on today's episode. Please subscribe and follow us on Substack, YouTube, Apple and Spotify. Have a lovely, lovely day.